you're not looking at your borders or at your security. It is a known fact that hackers are constantly trying to get into your environment and steal your data, because your data now has become one of the most valuable assets of your environment or of your company. So that's why you really need to make sure that your security is safe. Up until now, you had a lot of tools and a lot of things, but not one glass of paint. And the scenario which we're gonna talk about now is in fact, yeah, well, this sums it up. Your systems are constantly under attack. Hackers are getting in and can cause serious issues. Hackers mostly are already in your environment trying to get your data for at least a couple of days before you even notice. So that's why we're going to use the security events and also the security solution to find out. And you need 360 protection, meaning from inside and outside. Just gonna scroll through my slides here. So that's where we're gonna use OMS. We're gonna get all the data and get the insights. And what if you get alerted in SCOM? Well, the thing is, I'm also gonna show you a small trick how you can actually get alerts into SCOM from OMS. Again, those are not alerts, but still you can get data back into your environment. I'm not going to go through the entire solution, so if you have questions about this, please feel free to reach out afterwards. I'm not that good at hiding online, so you can always ask me more details on that later. So we're going to configure OMS, we're going to get the security data in, and then we're going to configure the security solution to get an initial view fast. Like Thomas said, you just connect your security data and everything is coming in. We're going to use a search query, and of course, remember, it's insight, not monitoring, and this is key, because in fact, if you compare OMS with SCOM alerting is quite easy. It's detecting, it's giving you something, and then it's showing you an alert, and then it's all done. While in OMS, it's quite different. In OMS, it's a delay because of the indexing at Microsoft's side. But it also, you need to think, instead of detecting, alerting, and that's it, you need to think of how many times did this happen in this period of time. And also, the alert happened so many times. So it's again, happened X in Y time versus happened so alert every time. And the minimum search query interval is 5 minutes, so you can't actually be alerted in less than 5 minutes if something is going on. So if your server is down or if your key DBase is down, you will probably get calls before OMS is even alerting you that things are happening, while SCOM will probably be completely red. So just the workflow before I dive into my workspace. So the scenario here is quite simple. We run a search query. We alert on the results as it happened so many times in that time frame. We kick off an Azure Automation runbook. Azure Automation is indeed also part of the OMS suite. We log through Hybrid Worker on-prem, and then let's come pick up from there. Just a small thing, a Hybrid Worker is in fact a machine which has the possibility to execute actions from Azure Automation and then send feedback back to the Azure cloud environment, meaning that you can run actions as if it was just on a server in on-prem with the data and with the accounts which are used on-prem. So I'm just going to dive into my environment real quickly. So to see the beginning, this is my Microsoft Operations Management Suite environment. And I'm going to dig into also the security and audit and let it load real quickly. And then we see here identity and access. We see all the different things, but for the scenario here, the scenario is quite simple. I want to be alerted when people actually are trying to log in with my administrator account, which is one of the first accounts that are used by hackers to try to get in with password files and whatsoever. So that's the first thing I'm going to track. So if I see identity and access, and in here I see that, yeah, well, I deliberately already tried a couple of times, and you see that I have failed logon attempts, and my VLab administrator account actually was failed logon at 418, so that was me trying to actually log in. But you see it's all registered because it was the security event log which actually kicked it in. So this is cool, but this is just for someone who's actually constantly looking into the console. And a lot of people are not constantly looking into the console, especially not between 3 and 5 a.m. So that can be tricky that you're not alerted. So how do you want to be alerted or notified? Let's call it notified because it's not really an alert. You can actually create alerts by just clicking. So we have the search query here, and if you go into alert, you can create an alert with the search query. So you just type in a name here. I'm just going to call it test because I already have the